I don't want to hear about how we got to have World War III with North Korea because they might be shipping out artillery. Give me a break. When the New World Order gave them the frickin' nukes. Now stick that in your fake conservative. You think it's manly to be a warmonger when you can't even find the stupid country on a map. You think driving around and flexing your muscles and wearing shirts with big skulls on it and black bandanas is tough. But you won't learn about the Bill of Rights and Constitution, how our nation's been hijacked by foreign bankers who are trying to start World War III. World War III is a political diversion while they steal everything we've got, everything that is nailed down and isn't nailed down. And I'm not knocking somebody with big muscles wearing black T-shirts with skulls and bandanas on their heads. Just everywhere I go, I see those type guys. At Academy. When I was buying some ammo last night, or when I ran into a cafeteria, I saw these big warrior-type men everywhere. Some guy with giant muscles, black bandana, big black shirt with a skull on it in there with his wife and kids. And I guarantee you that guy'd urinate all over his leg if the cops pulled him over and told him to get on the ground. I guarantee you that guy isn't down at the legislature trying to fight bills where the government can kidnap his children without even having a Fourth Amendment or a judge's order. And I just want to ask you, if you're such a man outside of watching ice truckers and playing with yourself, why don't you stand up and be a real man? Why don't you stand up and defend the republic as it's falling instead of having some vague thing about Apache helicopters shooting Hellfire missiles into brown people's houses? That's your idea of manhood. Just some vague idea of aircraft carriers and missile cruisers launching tomahawks down people's chimneys. That isn't manhood, jackass. Manhood is taking care of your family in the country where you live. You understand a scientific dictatorship is taking over all the farms and ranches? They're seizing all the major industries. They're shutting the United States off like you take an old man off life support. Get your head in gear. Get your guts in gear and get your brain in gear. And all you guys in your cowboy hats strutting around your Wranglers acting tough. I mean, I sit there watching men of America strut around like peacocks, bugging their eyes out at people, bugging their eyes out at some, little old man or something walking to the bathroom in a restaurant, but you won't stand up for the Bill of Rights and Constitution. You'll stick American flags made in China by Chinese slaves all over your car. You like the idea of freedom, but your idea of freedom is tyranny. I don't mean to get off into that. Where are the men? They had the Rot Rally here in Austin, and you couldn't hardly go anywhere this Friday, Saturday, Sunday because of people driving around, bugging their eyes out at people, acting tough on motorcycles. And I'm not saying you're bad to want to be on a motorcycle. I've had motorcycles, like motorcycles, back when I was young and didn't care about dying before I found out I wasn't bulletproof. Now I've got important work to do, so I don't have a motorcycle. I don't want to risk my life. I'll only spend my life on something worthy. And I know it's fun to wear skull shirts, and I know it's fun to drive around acting tough and putting on the trappings of a modern-day pirate. That's what you do. And wearing the Iron Cross. But do you know what the Iron Cross, why you like that symbol of dark power? Because it meant millions dead from machine gun bullets and nerve gas. That dark symbol has power because it is the totem of giant piles of dead bodies in burnout cities. And artillery being fired at point-blank range into cowering masses as buildings collapse on them. Pictured a dead 2-year-old little blonde-haired girl with her lower half blown off, still clutching a teddy bear in her arms. Worms crawling in and out of her ears and nose and mouth and smell the dead flesh and then tell me you like the dark power of the Iron Cross. You don't know anything about the Iron Cross or the gates of hell. You don't know anything about the stench of dead children, but it will soon be in your nostrils if you continue to conjure hell and death. You hear the howl and the grind of the gears of death, and you think it makes a beautiful sound from far away. And it does have a black majesty, a dark majesty, like the smokestacks of Hades. But once you've been delivered to the lands of the four horses, you will no longer love the darkness. You grasp at the darkness because you are weak, and because subconsciously you fear it. So you think by embracing it, it gives you power over it. You have no power over darkness. In darkness, the only power over darkness is the light, and not the counterfeit of the light, the loving, limp-wristed dove of the liberals. The fake oozing death, yet nothing but another vehicle of the true darkness. No, one must find the true light, not its many counterfeits, not the velvet-gloved eugenicist who loves the black, who loves the brown, who loves you and saddles up to you. The true darkness rarely festoons itself in its true cloak of iron and fire. It wears that of a sheep, and it baws sweetly in your ear for the carbon taxes and helping the children. And it whispers in your ears spells that turn your bones to jelly and your heart to weak, shivering cold. I will break down the news that we have before us on the other side of this transmission, on the other side of these ads. Those merchants that fund our vessels